Good morning. How are we doing? I'm really early today, but I thought I'd pop on early and say hello to everyone before we got started today. Today, we're going to talk about ideal client stories. You've heard about ideal client avatars, you've heard about ideal client profiles. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to create a story for your ideal client. And I'm really excited about it. I've revamped one of my freebies that I've had over the years, added a few things to it to make it very, very easy. And at the end of today's broadcast, I'll tell you how to get it. So let me get a little housekeeping stuff set up here while I wait for folks to come on in. I gotta see if I'm on live. Where are my comments? I never remember where they are. Oh, here we go. Chat. Show. Social comments display there. Okay. Captions. Oh, chat overlay. There it is. So, comments will show up over here. If I get any comments today, maybe I'll cut it off until it's time. So, let's see if I'm live on Facebook. Probably am. I see we have one visitor so far. We still got 2 minutes before we're supposed to start. So if you're in the room, say hello. Tell me who you are and where you're tuning in from. um, there it is. I think I'm live. All right. All right. So I'm live on Facebook. I think I'm live on YouTube as well. But we'll worry about that another day. I always I always get a little flustered when I'm using technology, even though I love technology. Um, it's always a surprise for me when I can do something new. So I think I'm going to try and open up YouTube to see if I'm getting any action over there because I think I'm getting if people comment on Facebook and or YouTube, I think I can get both. So I'm gonna have to get some of my friends to hang out with me and test this out. So we're gonna get started with the content in a minute, but I want to see. Okay, let's see my channel. I'm live, and let's see if there's anybody watching. No, not over there either. Okay, awesome. I love it. All right, let me shut that off and just work with the studio. I'm using a tool called Restream. Um, and Restream allows you to stream to multiple places at the same time. So what that means is, and I'll talk about this a little bit until before we get into today's content. So what it allows you to do, well, how I have it set up, I have it set up to go to two places. So on my desktop, on my computer, I'm logged into a web app on Restream.io. It's a company that provides live streaming and restreaming or streaming videos to multiple places like social media, YouTube, etc. And so I set up an account, and what I'm doing is I'm actually talking to the camera, right? I'm live in my office in my home, and this video feed is going out to um, Facebook, my Facebook group, or my Facebook page, and it's also streaming live on my YouTube channel. So it's going to save the video automatically on YouTube, so it'll appear as a a saved video on YouTube, but it will also save as a video in my business page on Facebook. So people who hang out on Facebook will be able to see this video for a limited time. I usually take it down on Facebook, but I leave it up on YouTube because I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. But all of this at the same time. There is no recording the video, downloading it, and then uploading it. Restream allows you to stream to both places, and both places save the video for future replay. Okay, so if you're watching this on replay, I'm just explaining a little bit about what goes on, or how to use Restream as a live streaming tool, or a tool, a desktop toolkit, so that you don't have to set up complicated technology all over the place, and you can Restream to multiple places at once. Okay, so this is really, really cool. I love it. And every time I use it, I learn something new. So, so let's get into today's topic. I'm just going to get started because I've got clients to see after this live stream. My name is Wendy Robinson, and I own Wendy J Creative. We are an agency that helps entrepreneurs get their business web presence up and running online with website, landing pages, and all the automation tools you need to execute the running of your business online. Okay, so anything that has to do with technology and running your business online, I'm your girl. I primarily work with WordPress, but I've worked with other web platforms, Wix, Shopify, etc. But WordPress is my jam. It's what I usually recommend more than anything. But I also help business owners connect their website to their email marketing, to their social media platforms. We set up automated things like scheduling apps and shopping carts, depending on what they need done in their business. One of my favorite things to do is to talk to a company or business owner who is trying to streamline and make things as easy as possible. And I look for ways to make them automated and seamless, so that the business owner can spend more time working with clients and customers instead of all this technology that they need to run their business. So that's what I'm about. And today, I'm I'm also a business strategist, right? I also help people figure out how to determine what their business model is, what their messaging should be, what technology to use because of that business model and messaging, and then really how to use all of that to engage. And I do that through a framework called Behind the Site That Sells. The word site, SITE, stands for the 4 pillars that I concentrate on when I'm coaching clients. That's their strategy, the information they share, the technology they use, and the engagement vehicle that they use to engage with their audience so that they can get more clients. And one of the ways to do that is to determine who you're talking to, right? And that's what today's session is about. Today is all about how to really determine, well, not so much how to determine, but how to create a story around your ideal client. Many of you watching this, either live or on the replay, probably have questions about, well, I don't know who my ideal client is because I haven't worked with that many people, especially those of you who are in startup mode. I don't know how to determine. You've heard the guru say you got to know if they're male or female, where they live, what they buy, where they shop, where they work, yada, 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 yada. Okay. Well, nailing that down to one person or one scenario sometimes is difficult. And so, what I like to tell businesses is create a story around someone that you feel would be the perfect client, even if you've never worked with anyone. If you're starting a business, chances are you've worked with someone, whether it's for a paid fee or free. And so you kind of understand who you want to work with, because you don't want to work with everyone. Not everyone is for you, right? And if you try to work with everyone, you'll frustrate yourself. You've heard that before. Well, if you're still searching on who that person is, sometimes when you create a story around that person and add in elements that are, I don't want to say perfect, I don't like that word, but ideal client, for your way of doing business, sometimes that helps you in recognizing who you want to work with, right? But one of the most important things that it does for you is it helps you find these people. If you have a narrative or a story about this person, then you know where they hang out, what their problems are, um, who they have in their life that may be um, included in their journey, or maybe someone is creating an obstacle to their journey, you know. Um, so your messaging can speak to those things, and your ideal client will hear them or read them and resonate with it. And that's why I like stories, right? So I want to read the introduction. Here's the freebie that I created around how to create an ideal client story. And I want to read a section in here because I don't have it memorized. I'll be real with you. Um, and why I created this. In order to have a website that generates money online, you have to create and share content that resonates with the right type of people. Because if someone lands on your website and they don't identify with anything that they see or hear or read on your website, they're going to keep scrolling or they're going to keep clicking around, right? The marketing messages you create must be valuable to the people who have an issue or problem that you solve, right? Makes sense. But these marketing messages need to speak to your ideal client. If they don't, the content you create will fall on the ears of people who don't need your product and service, right? Because they'll keep clicking away and trying to find someone that resonates with them. Then you end up with empty pockets. And we are in business to make money, right? So, creating an ideal story gives you a roadmap for creating content that keeps you connected to your audience, right? Because the story you create is one that identifies with the ideal client. Um, One day I was listening online to someone I follow, and back when I was trying to figure out who my ideal client was, and I just didn't resonate. I just didn't get it. Like, how can I identify my ideal client by figuring out where they live, what magazines they read, what TV shows they watch, what kind of work they do, whether they're married, single, with kids. I mean, how can I nail that down? Why? I mean, it didn't make sense to me. It just didn't, because there are billions of people in the world. And how can I narrow down who I identify with or who I want to serve into those categories? And this particular person that I follow introduced the concept of creating a story. And it hit me that, one, everybody loves stories. And two, that was much easier. And three, I could make one up until I actually started working with people, real clients that I could identify with and model my messages for. So creating a story is pretty easy. I created a template for it. And I'm going to read you my story, um, just a little bit of my story, of one that I use today. My ideal client's name is Chrissy. She lives in the sunny state of Arizona, in the city of Chandler, where she lives with her husband and young daughter, Paris. Then I go on to talk about what Chrissy does for a living, what she likes to do on the weekends with her husband and her daughter, what she likes to do with her girlfriends. Just a couple of sentences. She likes to go to the Biltmore, which is an area of shopping in Phoenix that's very, very high end, and they can have lunch and gelato, and Macy's is there, and Saks is there, and yada yada yada. There are restaurants, but more importantly, Chrissy starts thinking about how she wants to build her business, but she's stuck. This is part of my story. Chrissy is a fitness instructor and nutritional coach who is actually, she's also a stay-at-home mom and housewife per se. She helps her husband in his business, but she wants to use her expertise to make money to help the family. But more importantly, to have a creative outlet for what she does, and she wants to help people. And so she came to me. This is a real person I'm talking about. She came to me and said, I can't really get a job outside of the home because I need to be there for my children, my daughter and my future sons, because I want to give my husband a son. And she told me that she would love to do something on video. So we talked about it, and I said, okay, so you can't leave the house. That's part of Chrissy's story because she works and provides for her family at home. She helps her husband in his business, so she doesn't have a whole lot of time during the day. Sometimes she helps him ship things or look at customer requests, customer service type things. And then she also needs to be home to welcome her children home, to do homework and snacks and cook dinner and all of that, right? She wants to be there. That's part of Chrissy's story. But she still has the need to have a creative outlet because she wants to be able to train people. She wants to be able to help people with their nutrition. And so with the onslaught of video, we decided to start creating a video library of workouts and her fixing nutritious meals and creating recipes for her clients and provide it in an online space. So what we did is, because I was able to create this story about Chrissy, now I know that I can go find more Chrissys. Okay. Not necessarily just the Chrissys of the world that are fitness trainers and nutritional coaches. Anyone who wants to, any woman who is working, who is a housewife, stay-at-home mom, or whatever the case may be. She doesn't have to be married. Maybe she's single, but she has children that she wants to be there for in the afternoon, right? So this modeled my messaging that I used and the types of technical solutions that I use to help Chrissy. I can now package that up and find more Chrissys of the world, more professional, independent providers like fitness trainers, hairstylists. Um, um, I've helped a woman who does pet doggy washes. She has a van and she goes to people's home and gives people dogs baths. Okay. She her her thing is she creates videos of her giving the dogs a bath and grooming, right? And she uses those on her website. And so all those types of independent professional women are part of who I consider an ideal client because I have expertise in helping other people like them. But I would have never been able to create my messaging, create my website content if I didn't first create that story about Chrissy. And Chrissy is someone I use as my muse. So anytime I create a social media post, anytime I create a online training like this one, um, or I create any kind of marketing materials, I channel Chrissy as my muse. By creating this story, I can create a website that resonates with Chrissy, one that is inviting, using images and color schemes that Chrissy relates to, ones that I like as well. And so it really has helped me reach out and find the types of clients that I love to work with. And now my messaging is such that I'm attracting more Chrissys of the world automatically because I'm using messaging that resonates with that ideal client by creating an ideal client story. So, um, that's it. That's it. That's really all I had for you today. And if you want to get this template on how to create an ideal client story, all you have to do is go to, I'm going to put it in the chat, learnwithwendy.com livestream.com/ideal client story. Go to that link and let's show that. learnwithwendy.com/ideal client story. Download the template. It's completely free. And just follow the template, fill in the blanks, and then you'll have your ideal client story. And when you create it once, it doesn't mean you can't create it again. You could print it out again and create a different story as you learn who and what types of clients you want to work with in your business. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. This is me signing off for the wonderful Mother's Day weekend that my husband has planned for me. And I hope you have a great Mother's Day weekend too. Bye.